Good morning. I'm Councillor Glen, and today is Saturday, July the 6th, and this morning I'm at a relatively new stormwater pond that is pretty close to the Carp River, right on the eastern boundary of Stittsville. I'll try to situate it for you. Those homes you see over my shoulder there are part of the Mapleton community. That's off of Maple Grove Road. So the easiest way to access this stormwater pond is to, off of Maple Grove Road, you want to go to Roger Griffiths Avenue and then take your first left. It might be called Plowshare, I'm not 100% sure, and it'll bring you to the pathway that encircles this pond. There's another way you can reach it though, and that's via the Carp River pathway, which you can access from Maple Grove Road, from Hazeldean Road, or from the Canada Rec Center, or whatever it's called now, the Tony Graham Rec Center. The whole Carp River has some great pathways. If you've never explored it before, maybe that's an activity for you this weekend. There's pathways and there's stormwater ponds all the way along the Carp River from Hazeldean to Maple Grove to Palladium, all the way up to the Home Depot, the Movati, the Costco. And if you head over the Queensway, there's pathways along the Carp River between the Queensway and Richardson Side Road. So lots to explore in a really nice natural area here in Stittsville, and on the other side of the river that would be Canada. I've got lots of updates. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you to all the organizers of this year's Canada Day events in Stittsville. Some incredible crowds out there, and thank you to all the organizers and volunteers who put those together. We kicked off the day with the flag raising ceremony at the Stittsville sign. Thank you to Aline and Juliana from my team, and to Murray from Hazeldean Gardens for supporting that event and the refreshments afterwards. A big thank you to Joseph Carbonetto for organizing the car show and the market on Stittsville Main Street. Pretty incredible events. To Tracy and Mike and all of the volunteers at the Stittsville Legion, a great event there. And of course to Caitlin and Mandy and Chelsea with the Stittsville Village Association for the amazing night of entertainment and fireworks behind Cardell Rec. And what great crowds. I mean, just so nice to see people back out and enjoying community events. So thanks again, volunteers and organizers. On fireworks, I wanted to ask something. There's a ban on fireworks in Ottawa. If you have a permit, like the Stittsville Village Association or the Canada Day organizers did, no problem. But the use of fireworks is really restricted because you can't put them off at a park, you can't put them off at a schoolyard, you can't put them off on a street. You'd have to have a pretty big property to do it safely. So essentially, fireworks are not permitted unless you have a permit anywhere in the urban area. I'm wondering what you think. Should we also ban the sale of fireworks leading up to Victoria Day and Canada Day? Let me know what you think. I'd be curious. Anyhow, the Ottawa bylaw was pretty busy on Canada Day, handing out warnings, handing out infractions, and over the past few years we have had some pretty serious health and safety incidents with fireworks. So that's why I ask. Let me know what you think. It's Bluesfest now. I know a lot of you are heading down to LeBreton Flats for Bluesfest. A reminder, with your ticket you get free travel on OC Transpo. We've got buses and trains running, and I've heard from some of you about really good experience so far, so that's good to hear that OC Transpo is serving you well for Bluesfest. We've had a really busy week at City Hall, a whole random assortment of things, trying to wrap up before we have a short summer break. Three interesting things I wrote down from this week. The city is going to enter into negotiations with Carleton University about building a new Olympic-sized pool that would have community and public use as well as use for Carleton University. They did a kind of a request for interest, a request for proposals, and heard from 6 different organizations. And pardon me, we've decided to begin negotiations with Carleton U. And it's kind of a similar model to what we have actually just over the river here at Bell Sensplex, a partnership between organizations so that a more affordable investment. We certainly do need more pool space across the city, not just for swimming lessons or diving clubs, swing clubs, but also so we can attract large aquatic events. It's great for tourism and the local economy. Second thing is we've given the green light to purchase a former convent, a Catholic nuns convent, to use as transitional housing, primarily for new refugees. We're getting so many new people coming into our city and really struggling. A lot of them end up spending their first few days or weeks at homeless shelters, which is really not what homeless shelters are meant for, nor is it a very good way to welcome new people to our country who've come from elsewhere in some pretty harrowing circumstances. So the city's going to convert this former convent into a new transitional housing facility. We've done a number of these purchases lately and really trying to take the pressure off and move people out of the emergency shelter system and put them into something with a bit more wraparound support and a better environment for people to live in. And the third thing that was a bit of a discussion at City Hall this week was around developer donations. Now, this is not for elections, that's for something completely different. This is about whether or not councillors should be involved in soliciting or negotiating for donations from developers for things for the community as part of the development process. Now, I'm on the side of no. I think that's a bad idea. We're the decision makers, and if you start to involve the donation of money or in kind and so on, I think it's a bit of a slippery slope. It doesn't mean that developers can't do that. It's just I don't think that city councillors should be involved in that. There are programs we have at the city to facilitate that in a transparent and accountable way. There's city staff who can be involved in that, but when we're decision makers, it can become problematic and a perceived conflict of interest, if not a real conflict of interest. I'm working with staff because this comes to council next week. I just want to make sure that there's nothing that limits our ability to be fierce advocates for our community. And if there's something we need, that we can suggest that, recommend that, advocate for that, but just so we'd be at arm's length from any formalization of that process. So more to come on that. More locally, there's a survey that is launched for traffic calming on Sweetnam Drive. City staff have proposed a crosswalk where the Pool Creek pathway crosses Sweetnam Drive, just a little bit north, I guess, of Granite Ridge, between Granite Ridge and the creek. And some speed bumps to slow down vehicles as they approach that. There's a survey and information on my website, so check that out. We've also posted on my website, glengower.ca, our multicultural calendar for this month, for the month of July, so lots going on. And a reminder about our Newcomers guide, glengower.ca/welcome. If you are new to our community or you know someone who's moving here soon, send them to that website. We've got a 32-page booklet with everything you need to know to start off your first few days, weeks, months living in our Stittsville community. Whether you're moving from elsewhere in Canada, whether you're moving from around the world, maybe even just across the city, this guide will be useful for you at glengower.ca/welcome. At Council this week, hoping to get approval from my colleagues to reduce the speed on Cope Drive, Rouncy, Cranesville, and Abbott to 40 kilometers an hour within the Abbottsville crossing, Blackstone, and Fernbank crossing community. So I'll give you an update next week on how that turns out. It's looking good. I was glad to see a new little free library opening up in our community over at Wildpine at the retirement residence there. A very well-crafted, well-constructed little free library and a variety of books inside to explore. A reminder that on July 18th we have an open house with city staff to talk about the concept planning for a new community in Stittsville South, basically south of the Edenwild community, so check out information on my website. Another reminder to go to engage.ottawa.ca and check out the information about the Transportation Master Plan. I think you have to scroll to close to the bottom of the page to find it. There's a couple of surveys and opportunities to share your feedback. And I want you to go as Stittsville residents and make sure that you emphasize the importance of transportation infrastructure like Maple Grove Road, Fernbank Road, Stittsville Main Street, Carp Road, transit investments, all these things that are important to help people have great mobility within our community and to get to other places in the city. And this is all done through the Transportation Master Plan, and this is a really important opportunity to share your feedback. So please do check that out. Another city thing to check out, StopOverdoseOttawa.ca. I think this is new from Ottawa Public Health, or if it's not new, maybe it's revamped. You can sign up for alerts about Ottawa's drug supply. So when we are aware of maybe something toxic in the drug supply, or different trends, or things that may cause significant health issues, you can get an email alert by signing up at StopOverdoseOttawa.ca. One other update I wanted to give was a reminder or a request. I was walking around my neighborhood on garbage night, and I noticed a couple things. I noticed some cars parked up with wheels partway on the sidewalk, and I noticed garbage bins, recycling bins, also encroaching onto the sidewalk. Now, I can walk no problem. My dogs can navigate around that. But think about somebody who might be in a wheelchair or with a walker, or maybe a parent with a stroller. The sidewalks are not super wide in our residential areas, and anything that encroaches onto them can cause a mobility and accessibility issue. So if you're putting your garbage out on garbage day, keep it on your lawn or on your driveway. And if you're parking your vehicle, there's plenty of room on that street, so keep your wheels off of the sidewalk. It just helps everybody be able to move around our community, no matter how you get around. So thank you for that. That's it for me. It looks like an absolutely gorgeous day. A little bit of dark clouds up to the north, but hopefully all that rain from last night is now out of the system and we can enjoy a really nice weekend. If it gets hot and humid, I'm going to recommend the Amberwood Pool as a great place to cool off. I was there on Thursday evening. A really, really great facility. You can even kick back and order some drinks by the poolside if you'd like. Saltwater pool. It's not a public pool. It's run by the Amberwood Recreation Association, or Amberwood Village, or AVRA. Anyways, but a great facility. We're lucky to have it here in the community. It's on Springwood in the Amberwood neighbourhood, adjacent to the golf course. So check that out on a hot day. All right, that's it for me. This is longer than I thought it would be. Thank you for watching and tuning in. I really appreciate it. And have a great weekend. Take care.